Hello everybody. Today we won't be needing this apron because we're guaranteed a happy ending. Just like this little red boy sucking on this beautiful bosom. Wow. Today we're going to be making a cheese and charcuterie board and some homemade jam to boot. This is guaranteed to get you laid by your favorite gender of choice. Whatever you're into, I won't judge. We're going to be starting off by making a homemade strawberry jam. It's going to be very simple, very easy. First we're just going to trim off the little nubs because nobody likes a bush in the year 2025. We're going to chop these down actually to kind of like a little small dice here and add it to this pot. We had a little lemon juice on the side, which we'll be adding after. Add about a half a cup of sugar to this. I've probably got like half a pint of strawberries. And we're going to cook these out because there's nothing like smearing hot, bubbling strawberry goo on your partner's tummy when you suck it up with a, I don't know, one of those paper straws that they got nowadays. So we're going to be showing you how to cut cheese in various different ways to make your charcuterie board as sexy as you are. So we're going to take this cheese here. We took off the side rinds. We'll show you what that means after another one of these cheese. But we're going to keep the back rind because it looks kind of nice. And we're going to cut this down into a triangular shape wedge by taking the, just the natural round shape and using that to our advantage and cutting it into a pie section, which we ended up using, I think, a quarter of it. Anyways, we cut these nubbies down. Be sure to use a bigger knife. I did not use a big knife there for some reason, but I'm going to show you some ways you can lay it out. You can do that little triangle shape right there. You can make these like dinosaur spikes, like the spine of a Spinosaurus. Or you could do my personal favorite way, which is the zigzag, which I'll show you here. And no, I'm not referring to those rolling papers you damn kids are using to smoke illegal narcotics on the streets with. But as you can see, it gives you a nice little something to look at. I think a charcuterie board should, have very minimal space in the end, in my opinion. But your eyes should be able to wander and kind of find something new everywhere they look, kind of like a picture. So we're taking this double smoked cheddar and we're just going to cut it down into some cubes here. This is just a generic way you can do it. I like a little bit of an assortment of shapes. Just like I said, just whatever preference you have. Also, don't do what I just did right there. Maybe I could have cut my fingers off, and I definitely don't want you guys at home to cut your fingers off before you insert them into your partner. We're going to move those off to the side here. Definitely extra smelly fingers today, so if you're willing to donate to my Patreon, I'll send you some skin fragments to smell in a vial or something. So here we have this brie, like I was saying, which is everybody's favorite cheese. It's nice and melty, kind of sexy. It's one of those cheeses you can melt on your partner, similar to hot wax. Speaking of wax, we're going to remove the waxy end of this. This is a truffle manchego here. So just take the ends off because they sort of taste like pennies. And if you ever tasted a penny before, you know what I'm talking about. So we're going to cut this into like kind of a rustic flake here. We're just flaking it off. Again, shapes and sizes are all welcome on a nice charcuterie board, but I prefer kind of one-biters. So I'm just going to move that off to the side here. We got another cheese, a more firm cheese that we're just going to, again, chop down into cubes. This one, we just want to keep it a little bit generic. So cut the ends off of this one, especially the rinds are quite thick, kind of like the skin on my heels. Those things are, a sight to behold. But yeah, here's what all the cheese looks like when you're done. Now we're going to move on to folding the meat. And I know some of you kids out there rolling with your zigzags like I was talking about might be actually very good at this. This might come second nature to you. But we're going to take prosciutto Reminds me of her. And we're gonna roll it up into a little meat flap. Nothing like a little meat flap. So just roll them up, and there's like various ways you could do it. You could do the little zigzag, you could do the little roll here. The cigar roll here I'm not a big fan of, because it kind of makes it a little bit too thick to really enjoy, and the mouthfeel isn't the best. Some people enjoy a nice thick meat in their mouth. Not me though. So take your meat. I'm just doing a little bit of a zigzag fold, a little bit of a rustic fold. I feel like with the meat in particular, it's kind of nice to have them just loosely folded. Easier to pick up, easier to chew. So take these, move them to the side, and we're going to move on to the next one. We have a couple options here. We have sopressat, we have a spicy Genoa, we have a prosciutto, and I believe we have just a regular salami. So we're going to do the old labia fold here, or the dog ear fold, whatever you want to call it, and just kind of stack them up. You can do also just like, you know, just fold it in half, but we're just going to do this little dog ear fold, and just stack them up side by side like this. They're going to look like a bunch of people doing duck lips kind of stacked on top of each other. You can see this here. Move that to the side, and we're going to proceed to the next one, which I think we're just, I'm going to just fold it straight in half like this. Again, different shapes, different sizes, gives you something to look at. Move that to the side, and we got the final one. You can choose other types of meat as well. You could get like a nice, more of like a stick style charcuterie, like similar to a pepperoni, something of that nature. Just cut it up into little chunks. That also works. You can do little medallions. But this one, we're going to just do another little bit of a zigzag fold. No, that's not mold. Those are peppercorns in there. Looks like little eyeballs actually, but we're going to move these over to the side, and we're going to clean off this greasy plate, because after playing with your meat, oftentimes you'll leave a little bit of a grease stain. So we got the jam right there that's cooled off, some Concord grapes, some olives, and some honey. This is just your generic honey we're going to add to this bowl. And we're going to take some of that chili paste that we made a couple videos back and add it to this to make a little bit of a hot honey. We're going to stir that up. Hot honey is quite nice. It just adds another little depth of flavor. I wouldn't recommend using this for any sort of bodily food fun, if you know what I'm trying to say, like body sushi, especially if you're going towards the nether regions. I like to call that tushi. So I got some pea shoots here as well, and looks like a grandmother's ashtray, but like, you know, a novelty-sized grandmother's ashtray. We're going to use that as our charcuterie board. We've got a couple ramekins, we've got the jam, the honey, and the olives here. And I like to start off with this so we can kind of build around that, because that's going to take up quite a lot of real estate on the plate. So we're just have fun with making these plates, you know. I don't personally like charcuterie boards that have like large sections of the same thing. I like to kind of break it up into smaller pieces like this. So if you got like more, you know, the same ingredient, move it around a couple different places on the, you know, your whatever canvas you have. So we got the other cheese here that we're just gonna lay down gently, and it's always nice to treat your cheese and your meat gently. So just lay it down thusly on the plate, and again, have fun. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. So despite what anybody says, you're a superstar in my eyes. But yeah, we're gonna keep on finding places to insert our meat here. By the end, it's gonna look like a little beautiful mosaic piece. Again, you don't have to use this type of vessel either. I have many different vessels. I actually have a secondary cheese board that I made off screen, which will appear at the end of the video, so you'll see that you can do it on kind of like rectangles, squares, circles, toilet seats if you're into that. That would be kind of a cool little, you know, art installment. Toilet seat charcuterie, taking it to the rim. We got some nice Rain Coast crackers. I don't know what they would be called in your region or your country or your city, but yeah, where I'm from, they're called Rain Coast crackers. They got, maybe that's just the brand, but they got like nuts and dried fruits and stuff in them. I'm going to tuck the soft cheese on the side. It's always good to serve brie with like a cheese knife because it's going to be, nobody's going to want to bite into that big old thing. Maybe some people would, but not this fella. So we're going to, again, just fill all the voids, and basically what I like to do with the fruits and the pea shoots is whenever there's like gaps left over at the end, we're going to just kind of use them to, as like a color pop. And the fruits will take over these little voids here. Like you don't have to use grapes necessarily, but they're quite common, and these were on sale, and they were very tasty little Concord grapes. Tastes like Welch's. Best grape juice ever. Just kind of fill those little gaps that you see. You don't have to fill all of them because you will be putting stuff in to fill the rest. I'm like leaving a little bit of room on the edge just because I like a little bit of the rim there. So tuck these in kind of next to the grapes, almost like it's a grape on a vine. You'll get a little bit of a color pop there. Which, again, you don't have to use pea shoots. They are quite cheap at the grocery store. This is, again, just for visual effect. You can use any sort of micro sprouts if you want, but I'm using it in this instance. And I just kind of tucked it into all these little voids there. But this is sort of how it's going to end up looking. You know, pretty little charcuterie board for you and yours. This is big enough for two. I've got the other one here as well. So you'll see that here in a second. I did it on a black slate, so it's a little smaller one right there for you. Again, you can do it on anything, even a cowboy hat. That would be fun and sexy. So grab yourself your finest bottle of wine and just pour yourself a glass and get ready to shag the night away. Take your boyfriend's cheeks, take your girlfriend's cheeks. Girls, also take your boyfriend's cheeks. We're going in. Peace.